Hello there. Let's see if this is working. I'm trying to try a new streaming thing tonight, and I'm not sure if it's working or not. So we're gonna see. If you guys are with me, that would be cool. If not, then we're gonna see. Oh wow, that's not right. It's streaming under Gen Con live stream. I really hate YouTube sometimes.
There is a huge fun.
No, what is going on? Why is it doing this? It's saying Gen Con live stream. That's not what it's supposed to be streaming at at all. I absolutely hate. Well, how in that? I'm frustrated because so for those of you guys who are curious as to my confusion, the YouTube changed the way that it has a like a live stream set up, and I scheduled a live stream for 8:20 exactly, and instead of it actually happening, it seems that my live stream went to a whole different thing. There's a classic streaming, and then there's the new type of streaming, and this was my first time trying to do the new type of streaming. So, yeah, that's weird. But either way, I think. All right, let's see if this works. Streaming now, classic. Let's see if this works. That's because I still can't see chat yet. Okay, there we go. All right, good. I can see you guys now. All right. Well, it still has to use the old. I don't know how you'd use the new type of streaming because it won't let me stream to that, and there was no encoder set up to stream to the new type of. I guess I'll have to have a streaming day where I just try to figure out the new YouTube Studio thing because I have to stream on the classic interface now. And that annoys me because somebody's probably looking at the scheduled stream and seeing that it didn't show up and thinking that I lied or something like that. Anyway, it looks like we're going. So all right, with all that out of the way, hello there, and how are you guys doing tonight? It's a Sunday night. We had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. There was some interesting stuff that was going on. We had some releases for Legion that just came out over the weekend, and yeah, let's see. We got a giveaway going on too. So this is kind of a re-giveaway. This is for this particular stream is going to be for this Hammerhead Corvette promo for Star Wars Armada. This was actually from a previous live stream that I guess went unclaimed. There was a winner. I don't remember off the top of my head who that particular winner was because I usually just pick somebody right out of the chat, and they never emailed me for it. And it's been about a month or so, so I am putting it back out into the supply. You have to stay tuned to the end of the video. I will tell you how to win that, but I'll just mail that out to you if you win. And yeah, let's see. So a couple of people. Let's see. Let's. I want to talk about a couple of different things. First off, some cool merch stuff. So we've got we've got some new masks and stuff in the merch store. If you guys haven't already seen, we got some different. We got face masks, neck gaiters, some new T-shirts, all kinds of new stuff. So you can check that stuff out if you're interested in. There's gonna be links to that in the description below. I'm wearing the Boba Fett one right now. Actually done a lot of helmets. Recently, we've got the Dark Trooper one that was this morning, and then we had the prototype Boba Fett, and so like that's pretty cool getting to review some of the new Hasbro Star Wars Black Series stuff. So that one is always exciting. Hey everybody that's joining us, we're just gonna kind of hang out and do a kind of a live Q&A tonight. Just kind of recapping the week because we had a lot of new stuff come out. We had the ARC Troopers and the BX droids for Star Wars Legion, and then in some cases the ATRT for the clones, which was, I guess, shipped out early. There's all kinds of rumors going around right now, and because some retailers got like none or hardly any of their ARC Troopers, and the rumor is that there was a lot of water damage to this wave, so they sent out some ATRTs to kind of make up for the lack of stock to certain retailers. And so some people have ATRTs really early. Yeah. Peter Rankin asks, are people buying 2 of all Clone Wars things? Well, my rule of thumb for everything is 2. 2 of everything. With the exception of unique characters. I usually don't buy 2 of specific commanders. But yeah, and for most things, like the Super Star Destroyer for Armada, I just got 1 of, and the campaign expansions, I just got 1 of those. But yeah. So there's that. So I've been doing a little bit of. I've been taking it kind of easy this weekend because I recorded a couple of videos early, and sometimes I'll do that. Because since I have like a video a day, I'll record it. Like sometimes I'll record multiple in one day, so I can actually take a day off because I don't really get days off, and so I'll try to kind of do that. And so I did a few in advance, but then I thought I was gonna have a couple of days off, and then all kinds of stuff started dropping, like all the Legion stuff came out, and then the helmets all like showed up like at the same day, and so there was a lot of just surprising, like, hey, you have to review this, oh, hey, you have to review that, hey, you have to review this. All kinds of stuff. You pre-ordered ARC Troopers. Jacob says he pre-ordered an ARC Trooper from Miniature Market and haven't had any notifications yet. That's surprising. That is surprising. Yeah. But yeah. Whoa, we got a super chat from Bleed Green Productions. What's going on, Bleed Green Productions? You guys are like notorious for like being the first people to super chat in all of my live streams. So that's like I think that's gonna have to be part of my new routine for starting out videos. I think it's gonna have to be hello there, what's going on? And whoa, we got a super chat from Bleed Green Productions. That's how I'm gonna start all of my videos now. Maybe. But thank you for supporting the channel. That's a great way to get my attention because it does show up definitely in big bold letters, and so I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Also, it's been a pretty good week because I don't know if some of you guys noticed, but we got these new. I got some early Crabbok coins, and I'm going to show you guys this if you didn't watch my video already. They're pretty amazing. They're tokens, right? And they are here. I love these things. These are from Luxury Playstyle, and this is part of basically. You can get one of these if you order from them and you use my code. It's got the little C, and then blue lightsaber nunchucks and a little star on the front with the ring, and on the back side it's got the number 5, and then red lightsaber nunchucks and like force lightning coming out of the tips of the red lightsaber nunchucks. These are awesome, and you can use them in any game. You can use these for X-Wing, of course, because since they have a lot of X-Wing tokens, to mark critical hits. You can use them to mark damage, like on something like Star Wars Legion. If if you got like Darth Vader out there, he's got 8 health, and you're putting down 3s, and you put down another 3. You know what? You can use this as a 5 damage marker. You can also mark your commander with the C if you have to mark a commander. And in Armada, you can use these to mark your flagship. That's where your commander is for the C. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's see. So that's pretty cool. So you get that with any $35 purchase on Luxury Playstyle that uses code Crabbok VIP. I did a whole video talking about that stuff earlier, and so that's a fun little thing. But these are super nice. So also patrons are gonna get these if you pledge. Let me see. I gotta look this up because it was. We're gonna be giving these out. Some patrons are gonna get these around Christmas time. So that's pretty cool. And so if you're anybody who's pledged at the X-Wing level or higher, that's been a patron for 3 months, will get one of these around Christmas time. And there'll be some I don't have an infinite supply of these, so all this stuff is while supplies last, but there will probably be some giveaways too from time to time that you'll have a chance to get yourself one of these tokens. So that's pretty cool. We haven't gotten any new Armada news lately, and I think we're kind of getting close to where we want to start. See, because we're getting close to, it's going to be September. Wow, next week is going to be September. Tuesday, so September 1st. And so then we've got October and November. So then we're just like two full months. Well, September, I guess. September, October, November. Then we have 3 months until Armada Clone Wars comes out in the 1.5 and all the new rules and everything. So I still haven't gotten that interview, that Armada interview yet with from FFG. So I don't know if I'm gonna get approved for that or not, but that'll be a fun one. So if that happens, I'll probably try and press again for that maybe next month and say, hey, let's try and set this up. You don't want to go too long without any hype for a product, so I think maybe mid or late September would probably be a really good time to kind of bridge the gap of news. All right, let's see. All right, so I missed a bunch of the a bunch of comments and everything. I think that's about it for all the admin stuff. I do want to show you guys something. So Legion related. So I want to talk Legion first because we already were talking a little bit about the water damage. Chris is saying, Chris had asked if I had if I played any games lately. I don't really meet up with that many people in person right now because of COVID and everything. So my circle is pretty small, and we just so we had like a game night the other night, but it was a lot of smaller games, just kind of like party games and stuff like that, like King of Tokyo and stuff like that. So none of the good meat and potatoes kind of games yet. I did just kind of finalize my pledge manager for Nemesis Lockdown, so that's all coming, and so that was pretty cool, and I was kind of lucky there because that was all courtesy of Awaken Realms for the support that I've given them, so they kind of took care of my pledge for me, so I was really happy about that. You got to play on Vassal? No. So I love Armada, but I would rather never play it again than play it on Vassal ever. I won't ever do that. I'll find a new favorite game before I do that. Absolutely refuse. Let's see. What would be my number one question for our Armada interview? Well, honestly, a lot of the Armada stuff, a lot of the questions are going to be basic questions, right? And I need to redo my interview questions because I'll just be honest with you, like when you're trying to talk to FFG and hoping that you can kind of get approved because they have a lot of requests for information and they have a relatively small team, so it's hard to kind of to get noticed and get somebody's attention. So a lot of the questions that I had originally submitted were very kind of vanilla, I guess I would say, at least as far as diehard Armada players are concerned. Like, what's it like working on Star Wars Armada? How do you think adding 2 new factions is going to impact the game? Kind of like giving them opportunities to just talk about this type of stuff. I had a lot of questions like that were submitted, and that's kind of. I've been trying to get interviews for a long time. It's some of the earlier interviews that failed were hard-hitting questions, really hard-hitting questions. And those interviews ultimately never got approved, never saw the light of day. So I've learned a little bit. And so if you see some of my other interviews, you'll notice that maybe there's not that many hard-hitting questions or why aren't you guys doing this? Or when are you guys going to do that? You kind of can't really ask those questions. I mean, you can ask them, but the answer is going to be, sorry, I can't say anything about that. And nobody wants to watch an interview that's full of, sorry, I can't say anything about that. On top of that, if all of my questions in advance are questions they can't answer, I'm probably not going to get approved for the interview in the first place. So, can you review and show us more Mel Miniatures stuff? Maybe. maybe. I haven't been getting that many custom things lately. Because the stuff that I want is also really, really, really expensive. Like I really wanted to get that Fondor Shipyards one, but to build the full Fondor Shipyards, it was $1,000, and I mean, it's hard to justify something like that. When you've got kids and a family and a house and things that need fixing constantly and squirrels in the attic. Anyway, all right. Yes, squirrels in the attic. It's a real pain in the butt. If you guys have never had squirrels in the attic before, you're lucky. All right, let's see here. Wilhelm Anderson, on September 1st, you retire from the Air Force. Well, congratulations on that day being just around the corner. That's awesome. That is very awesome. Congratulations to you, and thank you for your service. All right, so, but yeah, let's see. Let's talk a little bit more about like kind of questions. I guess like one of the questions I feel like they can answer that I'd like to ask about Armada is kind of like what are going to be some of like the themes of the new factions, because in other games that have kind of introduced the Republic and the Separatists, they've each kind of had either a gimmick or a playstyle or a function or something that sets them apart. And I guess a good question is what's going to set the Republic apart and what's going to set the Separatists apart and make them feel unique? What are their their calling cards? That's part of one of the things, and I feel like there's ways they can talk about that without getting too spoilery. Of course, that does invite the possibility to say, oh well, yes, we're going to have a new keyword and we're going to have new stuff called back to infusion that all the or whatever. So that kind of that's an interesting question that I'd like to see is like, are we going to have in Legion, for example, the big thing with the droids was they have AI, and that if they don't get issued orders directly, then they have to kind of fall back and they're less useful. So that's one thing. Also, chaining commands and having cheap core units so that they can really swarm the B-1 battle droids is kind of one of the calling cards of the Separatists and Legion. And you have kind of networked calculations in X-Wing on how the AI and the droid functionality kind of works. So if they could talk like to that aspect as far as how the droid ships might work in Armada, I think that's kind of one of the things that I'd like to talk about. Of course, I'd have questions about new rules. And a lot of my kind of questions are like, is there anything that you can spoil ahead of time? So maybe there's some new rules that they could spoil, or any new key, or any new upgrades, or any new unreleased cards that they could spoil. That's certainly something that I'd want to ask in an interview. Of course, that's kind of stuff that would have to get approved ahead of time. Let's see. Talking about, I had some questions about some of the new keywords on the squadrons, although I think a lot of those, I had originally submitted my request for interview before the live stream, so a lot of questions I have are things that are already public. It's kind of like, I mean, a little part of me thinks they said like, well, here's a list of questions that people have for us. Let's answer all of these on the live stream. So it might be one of the reasons. But another interesting question I want to talk about is how Jedi and Sith will really work in a game like Star Wars Armada. It's easier to kind of have them one-on-one battling, like you can get in something like Star Wars Legion, or even in Star Wars X-Wing. You can put a single Jedi, you can put Anakin Skywalker on the battlefield by himself and see how well he does. But you can't really do that in Star Wars Armada, so how are some of the Jedi going to feel? That's like one of the questions I have also. But again, my fear with getting an Armada interview is that it might go forever because I would want to just talk Armada all day long. But that's part of the things. All right. Well, the Force, yeah, that is another one of my questions, and it's kind of related to the Jedi question: is what kind of role is the Force going to have? That's kind of how I was going to frame the question. Is like, let's talk about the Force, because that's a big part of the Clone Wars. Yada yada yada. How are the Sith and the Jedi gonna feel, and what kind of impact are they gonna have? What is your main hope for the new Obi-Wan series on Disney? Honestly, that it doesn't kind of screw up how we all kind of envision the storyline. Like, I'd hate for Obi-Wan to like go off and have all kinds of adventures and be like a leader of the rebellion prior to Episode 8, like constantly, like he's off planet nonstop, and all kinds of weird things. Like, I don't know if that's a really good answer. That's just the first thing that came into my mind. Like honestly, I'm hoping for it to just feel right. Like, The Mandalorian just feels right? So I would hope that the Obi-Wan series just feels right. I'd love to see Liam Neeson. I'd love to see like a Qui-Gon Jinn Force Ghost in that one. I'd love to see live action Ahsoka. I'd love to see a lot of those type of things. My guess is, oh no, I have a really good answer for you. But my guess is that it'll deal with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan kind of removing Maul from the power of Crimson Dawn, because that's just how it seems. Maul has already kind of gotten his vengeance on Obi-Wan Kenobi by the end of the Clone Wars, more or less. He still doesn't like him, still wants him dead, but he kind of got most of his vengeance out when he killed Satine. And then you fast forward to Solo. He's at the top of a criminal organization. He's probably got more things going on in his life, and he's probably not that consumed with revenge. But then the next time we see him, he's an old withered man who's lost everything, and he's absolutely consumed with revenge for Kenobi. And I feel like the Obi-Wan like mini series or whatever needs to kind of connect that dot, or connect those dots, and I think that's what it'll probably do. But I would love it if Obi-Wan would face Vader in between, and because one of my biggest problems is the initial. I have a big problem with the disconnect of the way the prequels were done versus the way we expected them to be after watching the original trilogy. So if you were a child of the 80s, you watched Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, and you were like, okay, yeah, Obi-Wan and Anakin, they were good friends, and Obi-Wan met Anakin, and he was a great pilot, and blah, blah, blah. And when Vader says to Obi-Wan in Episode 4, you should not have come back, making it seem like Obi-Wan kind of like fled or whatever. Like Obi-Wan was on the Death Star before. So I would love to see Obi-Wan actually fight Vader on the Death Star and him leave. And I'd love for it to be like some kind of joke about how he calls it a circle, because then when Darth Vader says the circle is now complete, you'd be like, oh, he means the Death Star is now complete. He's quipping back at Obi-Wan. Like, I know they'll never do that, but that's my number one hope, is that Obi-Wan makes one of his little jokes about like, oh, this is a very nice circle you've built here, like, and then he leaves, and then Vader's like, don't come back, and then Obi-Wan comes back. And then, so when he says you should not have come back, it makes more sense, because if they were fighting on Mustafar, it would have made more sense, you should not have come back. But Obi-Wan has never been to the Death Star before, so there's no sense in the whole you should not have come back line. Okay. Peter's talking about the new Thrawn book. Let's see, does anyone think the new Thrawn book will maybe play into the Rebels sequel show? Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to do. Maybe he ended up with the Chiss Rebels. Yeah, no, I think all the Thrawn books so far have, dealt more and dived deeper and deeper into the Chiss ascendancy. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think they're going directly into the Thrawn stuff to kind of set up where Thrawn and Ezra end up. That's just exactly how it seems. It's a little bit disappointing that this new Thrawn book is a prequel trilogy, and I'm like, so I don't care at all about what happens in this book. I'm still going to get it on release day and listen to it nonstop. It comes out September 1st, I think, too. So Tuesday we'll probably have it. So that's exciting. But I honestly, nothing like Thrawn's got plot armor throughout this entire thing. So anytime he is in danger, nothing can happen to him. So that initially makes me not care about this trilogy. Also, Kelani or whoever the female Chiss who is also in Treason, she's in this one. So anytime that she is in danger, nothing can possibly happen to her. And so I always have problems with backstories, with prequels, because nothing matters. No, if if there's a planet-killing weapon, it's not going to work because the planets, we already know about all the planet-killing, The Grisk are threatening Chiss. Oh, really? Because we know as of 20 years from now that, the Grisk haven't conquered Chiss, so we don't have to worry about any of it. So I have a huge problem with all of that kind of stuff. It's the same reason I didn't like Solo, a Star Wars story. It's because all of the characters that were important characters, Lando, Han, and Chewie, they had plot armor. You knew nothing was going to happen to them. It doesn't mean I won't watch the movie. I mean, I did watch the movie. And it doesn't mean I won't read this book, but there's only so much I can care, if that makes sense. He had plot armor and Outbound Flight. I never read that book either. I'll be honest, I never read Outbound Flight. I heard it was a great story, but I won't ever read it. I don't care. That sounds really cold. I know it's a very popular book. I should probably read it. But and the other thing that makes this one even worse is it's the first part in a trilogy. A trilogy of books that all three are backstory. So not only does this book not matter, but whatever cliffhanger it builds to also doesn't matter. And whatever cliffhanger that one builds to also doesn't matter. So it's the first part in a cake made of poop, and I don't care about any of the layers of the cake. Except for the fact that I enjoy Timothy Zahn's writing style, and I enjoy the character of Thrawn, so I will still watch it. My same problem with the Obi-Wan miniseries. I don't care what kind of danger you put Obi-Wan in, or any pre-existing characters. We know exactly what's not going to happen to any of them. Oh, this guy's going to try and kill Obi-Wan. Well, I know he's going to be fine, so I can't even... I like to be on the edge of my seat. Ever since I watched Game of Thrones, and I thought, hey, this is a cool character, Ned Stark. He seems like he's the main character of the series. Oh, no, he's not. I love the idea of not knowing what's going to happen. And when you tell me from the get-go of you're making a backstory on this character, I know that he can never be in any danger. And so it takes a whole lot away from me. And I know that that's probably a silly point of view from a lot of people's perspectives, but that's just kind of the way I look at this stuff. That Rob Human says, yeah, there is the anticipation of how will this pan out. And I agree. And that's what it really... Intellectually, I know that that's really what it is all about, right? It's not about, is Thrawn going to die? Of course, that doesn't even make any sense. They would never really... I hope not. I hope they would never really put you in that kind of position. It's really, how does this pan out? And it's about the journey, not the destination. But I care about the destination a lot more than maybe other people do. But that's just me. And I'm not trying to be like one of those... I'm not trying to be one of these dudes who craps all over Star Wars or whatever. I'm very happy for all of the new Star Wars content. I love it all. It's awesome, and I'm very happy to have it. That's just me nitpicking a little bit in that I would love for them to do. That's why I liked the sequel trilogy so much. I eagerly looked forward to each of the new sequel trilogy movies because you didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know who was going to live and who was going to die, and none of us knew that they were going to kill Luke in episode 8. I didn't think there was a chance in hell that Luke was going to die in episode 8, let alone commit suicide, which was, but, it wasn't really suicide. I really liked episode 8 until I saw episode 9, and then I don't, my level of caring about the sequel trilogy went down from 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. I was at a 9, and it went down to a 5, and I'm just lukewarm about it. And I hope in 15 years I look back at the sequel trilogy and I'm like, yeah, it was great. So we're talking all about the movies right now. Skull asks, is anyone also struggling with the most recent Alphabet Squadron book? Yeah, I just finished it last week. What a terrible series of books. Absolutely garbage. I'm sorry. I'm happy to have them. I am happy to have these books. But they're absolutely terrible. They're so bad. It's it's laughable how dumb these books are. I'm listening to it and I'm like, I just don't care. Oh, did that happen? I don't care about that either. Oh, did that happen? Oh, I don't care. Oh, is this person... I don't know how you could just make me care less about a series of characters than they seem to do in almost all of the Star Wars books. Seriously, outside of I've got two non-Timothy Zahn books that I really, really liked. Like Thrawn was probably my favorite of the new canon Star Wars books. Thrawn was awesome. It was that like, and it's because of the way it was written. Timothy Zahn didn't know he was going to be writing a trilogy. He thought he was just writing a standalone book, and it was a great reintroduction to Thrawn. Absolutely loved it, and it was written brilliantly. It was just flawless. It was magnificent, and I loved it. The other two Thrawn books were less good because they kind of felt like, oh, and by the way, we also have to do a trilogy out of this. So, it was stuck. We need more Karen Traviss books. I guess I don't know who Karen Traviss is. I apologize for that. But I really loved Lost Stars. Really loved that. That was my favorite for a long time. And then Dark Disciple is like maybe my third favorite. Dark Disciple was magnificent, and it literally made me cry. And I love when a book can bring out raw emotion and just twist my heart around. And Dark Disciple did that. It was amazing, amazingly good book. But outside of those, I haven't really cared about hardly any of the Star Wars books. To me, Inferno Squad was okay. There's maybe one or two that are kind of like that weren't bad. Inferno Squad was really good, or I'm sorry, it was performed really good. The story was just kind of mediocre. It was decent. I don't regret. I would buy it again and do it again. Have you considered doing coverage of the Star Wars area at Disney World in person? So I have been there one time. I have some coverage. Like I have the whole video of the lightsaber process. I'll put a link to it of the build a lightsaber and stuff like that. I think I put a little bit more of the video footage I took when I was there. But I was there with my kids, so I couldn't really do a whole lot. Yes, I have considered doing more coverage of all of Galaxy's Edge in person. We were going to get annual passes, and then COVID happened, and I'm not going there during COVID. We've got 3 young children, and I'm not taking any chances. And it's COVID is happening everywhere in Orlando. It's all over the place, man. So I'm trying to be as safe as I can be. That's why I have a very small circle of people that I'm able to do. How pumped are you for the Prophecy of Kings? Oh man! So now we're jumping from Star Wars to Twilight Imperium. So kind of pumped, but not. And I'll tell you, the reason for not is just because it's COVID-19. It's 2020. It's coming out in November. And so I know, like, when it comes out, I'm not going to be able to get 8 people to play it. I'm not going to be able to play it for probably at least 3 or 4 months after it comes out. That's why I'm not pumped. Now, if this weren't 2020, I would be super psyched. I'd have a game day lined up for the day it releases. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Let's see. A New Dawn. I did not hate A New Dawn. I thought that main villain, Count Viscount or Count Vidian, was a little bit of a cheesy villain. But no, I didn't mind A New Dawn. That might have been one of the middle book. Lords of the Sith, I did not like very much. It had a few redeeming parts, but overall, the whole concept of Lords of the Sith was Cham Syndulla has ambushed Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader at the beginning of the Empire's days. Like, and it was only a few years into the Empire. Cham Syndulla is going to try all these last-ditch efforts to assassinate the Empire or the Emperor. That was like the main hook of the whole book. And I was like, why is there so much emphasis on Cham trying to kill the Emperor? We know he fails. But there was so much suspense built up over it. That's the apex of why I don't like backstory books. I wish all media, or at least the vast majority of media that I am a fan of, could be produced chronologically. I don't want to know what's going to happen. I don't want to know that danger is false danger. I want to think, hey, anybody could die at any given moment. And that kind of influences how I run. Oh, man. So, how many of you guys have played RPGs or played Dungeons and Dragons or the Star Wars RPG? Because I am looking at starting a Star Wars RPG soon, and it would probably be on Skype, very similar to kind of how I'm talking to you right now. Just be theater of the mind stuff, no maps, no special visuals or anything like that. Just us talking about a story, you know. You step into the meeting chamber, and the people you're supposed to meet with all turn around, and you realize they're holograms. And suddenly, you hear the sound of gas flowing into the room. What do? You know, like stuff like that, you know, like theater of the mind. So I'm thinking about doing, you know, kind of a show or like a weekly or monthly kind of segment like that. And the thing is, nobody's safe. Like I will kill a player on the very first session if it lines up that way. Not that I'm trying to just for the sake of shock, but I want things to actually be realistic. Because in reality, any one of us, you know, a piano could fall out of a building and crash on you, like tomorrow. You know, it's just that's just life. That's just 2020. Why am I in space? That's a very good question. I woke up in space. I'm traveling. I'm trying to get back home. You look like a monkey? I don't think I look like a monkey at all, man. But, I mean, thanks. It's a pretty odd thing to say to somebody. Have you tried Star Wars Squadrons yet? No. I am not really into the EA influencer kind of scene because I don't do a whole lot of video game coverage. Not yet. But, man, I've been playing a lot more video games lately. I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, which I think is a really, really fun game. And I'm looking at doing a lot more video gaming later this year with Star Wars Squadrons and then also Cyberpunk 2077. And what's the last? Baldur's Gate. I'm looking to play some more Baldur's Gate, too, when that comes out. What do you think about the new card sizes for Armada? Because they will fill up the table really quick. I don't know if they will because while the upgrades got got bigger, the ship cards got smaller. All right, so if you're running, you know, not that many upgrades, you probably break even. You know, possibly. But yeah, I'm not super sure. Well, I'm not really super sure about how I feel about the upgrade cards being changed. You know, there's obviously a problem for me that I have this huge book of all of my upgrade cards. It means I'm gonna have to pull everything out. Like I'm gonna have to figure out storage again, and that's a bummer. But oh well. Let's see. I'm missing. I apologize if I'm missing some of the questions and everything. If you want to drop a super chat, that's guaranteed to catch my attention, and also get a big thank you for supporting the channel. And also, if you joined just recently, we are going to be doing a Hammerhead Corvette giveaway. This will be for Armada. This is going to be being given away towards the end of the video. So stay tuned. Make sure you stick around to the end. I brought your revenge mask, and it has a big hole in it. Sad face emoji. It has a big hole in it. Wait, you're talking about the Darth Maul one? So that's all like made by Teespring. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're, you know, if you contact them, they'll take care of it. But you talking about this pattern? Like there should be. Well, it depends if you're talking a mask or a neck gaiter, because the neck gaiter is supposed to have a hole in it. You see, that's how you get your head through. So you're supposed to have a giant hole in it. But if you're talking like the face mask, the one that goes around your ears, then. I don't know, man. That's weird. Like I've never heard. It has a hole. They shipped you a mask with a hole. Like when you say a big hole, like a tiny hole, like you think it was a problem with the fabric, or is it like a giant hole like for you to stick your tongue through? I'm curious about that. Either way, definitely just talk to Teespring. I'm sure they'll replace it. They're a big enough company that they will fix that. I don't actually print the stuff myself. Yeah, I'm really curious about that. If you guys aren't already in my Discord too, you can do that. There's a tear in the fabric. Okay, yeah. Just contact them. I don't have an email address on me off the top of my head, but I'm sure in your email and your email confirmation, you should be able to log in and say that there was a tear in the fabric, and I'm sure they'll replace it for you. Do you think we could get an Imperial core unit that's a droid, assuming you're talking about Star Wars Legion? Maybe Dark Troopers that could make use of Dell's repair keyword. Well, I don't think we'll get an Imperial core unit that's a droid. Dark Troopers would easily be Special Forces and not core. But I do think we'll get like Viper droids. I could easily see them happening. They might be Special Forces. So I initially thought that like a probe droid from like Empire Strikes Back would have been a support. And they could be. But in my interview with Luke Eddy, we were kind of talking about the size of a base. Oh, pardon me. It's been a long day. And that like the small individual unit size bases are probably just about always going to be Special Forces. Whereas if the base gets a little bit bigger, then it's more likely to be support. So, and as far as I know, I think a probe droid would probably be on a standard size base. Although you might be able to make an argument to put a probe droid on like a slightly larger base, like an ATRT-sized base. All right, Armada question. Do we know if the new card formats for Armada are only going forward, or are they going to affect future reprints too? That's a really good question. And that's a good question for the interview. I have no idea. That's a really good question, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so if they reprint core sets next year, are they going to continue to make small cards in reprints for existing items? My guess is that they will, because they probably already have the design specs and everything for that. But I hope not. Like, I'd hope they for all reprints and stuff in the future, they'd start, because one of the cool things about reprints, like, they do change some things, because all the sleeve sizes on the bottom of the boxes, they used to say Fantasy Flight Games sleeve size 1 and sleeve size 2 or whatever, for so you can know what kind of card protector sleeves to put. Those have all been, the boxes have been changed to show Game Genic as opposed to Fantasy Flight sleeves. So they're kind of changing reprints now to show off the new like accessory line that they have. So maybe they will do that. Like sometimes they'll do that for when there's a hard errata. I think like Leia had a big typo at one point, and then in new versions they fixed it. So it's certainly possible. Real quick, let me know in chat what you guys what games you guys play. Also, like out of the big three that I cover, or other games too, for example, like Armada and X-Wing and Legion, or TI4, or even Destiny, or Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. What do you got? Some of you guys' favorite games too, because that's always a fun one. I think RPGs have been one of my favorite kind of tabletop thing to do, because I've been running RPGs on Fridays. I've been GMing for the first time, and that's been really, really fun. I really like GMing. It's amazing to just be able to just invent any kind of story you want and force other people, to face the challenges that you laid out for them and see how they navigate it, and then let their actions steer your story decisions. And so, oh man, it's really, really fun for me. But I also want to do a good job too, so I'm like hoping that it's like I'm not being like too harsh or making it too fun for me, because it's not all about me. It's really all about them. But it's going to be a shared thing, right, where everybody gets a little something. Yeah, no, exactly. That's a nice point. KB says GMing is great fun since you essentially get to play a cast of thousands rather than simply one. Yeah, I wish there was a way I could GM like an RPG for all of you guys in a live stream, right? Like what do we got? Like almost 50 people watching right now. I'd love to do like a 50 player RPG right now. Like that'd be super cool. I'd like can't really think of a good, clean, easy way to do that right now, but that'd be super fun. Nithorian asks, instead of sub-factions, do you think that we could see something like different clone legions? I mean, we could see something like that. I think that would be rough for them to do like 501st right now, when so many people have painted their stuff, for in different ways. I'm yawning a lot today. I went out running today, and I don't usually run. Lately, my knees aren't as good as they used to be, and I used to run more, but I just haven't lately. And I was reading an audiobook on fitness and everything, and it was like, I really should run more, and I kind of got motivated and went running and ran like 3 miles today. And so I am beat, man. I'm exhausted, but I feel awesome, and that's awesome and tired. You ever like just exhausted but feel like, yes, I did a good job today? It's kind of the feeling I have going on right now. Oh, Trevor plays Zombicide also. Oh, we got a super chat from Daniel Trujillo. Thank you for supporting the channel, Daniel. He's with the tired icon. Yes, a cup of coffee. That would be awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much for helping support the channel. My words are a little slurred at the moment. Rob is currently painting his Rancor for Imperial Assault. Yes, absolutely. Dude, it's going to be really fun. Happy to do it. Well, happy to have you here, man. Thank you so much. It's going to be fun when Imperial Assault finally gets, like, something else. Like, I really hope they don't go the route of just making, like, Imperial Assault 2nd Edition, rebuy everything, Like, I hope they make, whatever they make for Imperial Assault is fully compatible with everything else. Like, could you imagine how happy Imperial Assault players are going to be? I still think we've got, like, 2.5 more years minimum. Probably 3 more years before we see it. I think 2023 is the magic year where we... No, there's no if it gets some love. It's confirmed that Imperial... Yes, it is confirmed. I do know more. Imperial Assault's story is not dead. Confirmed by Steve Horvath. Like, I forget what his actual position is, but he's, like... the production supervisor or like some really head honcho at FFG. He did an interview at Gamma right before, like at the last convention of the year, and he talked to the guys who that sell all the plastic tokens, Team Covenant. He talked to Team Covenant, and they talked about, it was a great interview, but he talked specifically about Imperial Assault, and it's one of these deals where, wow, my drink. I just realized I have a green cup. Look at this, the green screen. I have a green. It's just water, right? But oh my goodness, that is so cool. Funny. Anyway, but yeah, he basically, business reasons prohibit them from making any more Imperial Assault stuff right now. The common belief is that Hasbro has the board game license, and there was some kind of dispute, like, hey, you guys are making Imperial Assault as a miniatures game, but it's really a board game, and they're like, all right, we'll stop. So basically there was probably some kind of suit or whatever. So any new stuff they made, I think Hasbro would have gotten the money or gotten too much of the money or something like that. So in 2023, it's kind of like the end of a phase. Not end is a bad word, but basically, if you work in contracts or if you've ever done contracting, there's certain time lengths for things. Sometimes a contract will end, and then just you have to submit for renewal or whatever. Well, from what I understand, licensing works in very much the same way. So the license that like Fantasy Flight has right now for all their miniatures games goes out to 2023. So I would assume that Lucasfilms, all of Lucasfilm's licenses that they have licensed other people to make, including perhaps Hasbro, are all currently going through 2023. In 2023, there will be revisits or whatever. from what it sounds like is the plan is in 2023 that there's probably a good chance that certain rights and exclusives are going to open up, and that perhaps Fantasy Flight will be able to make Star Wars board games again, and more, and that's probably when we'll get a return to Imperial Assault. Furthermore, he went on to say that they are still making Imperial Assault. Like, the core sets you get now aren't like old overstock from 3 years ago. They're still making core sets. They sell a lot of Imperial Assault, as a matter of fact. There's more people joining it every single day. So it's very much alive and well, and its story is not finished. And so they did say it was going to be a while until, so it's not, don't expect it anytime soon. But its story is absolutely not finished. All right, so somebody's mentioned Marvel Crisis Protocol. I don't want to talk too much about that because tomorrow morning's video is going to be talking a little bit about Marvel Crisis Protocol. I already recorded that and uploaded it, but that'll go live tomorrow. When will the official X-Wing app support for Epic ships? I don't think they ever will. I don't think they will. I don't think they care enough about Epic. I think they just put Epic out just to see, and I don't think there was a good enough response. Hence the canceling of the Raider and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to do any more Epic, which is kind of a shame. I really liked the X-Wing Epic, but oh well. What stinks though is I wish that we could get the cease and desist order lifted, because like, you guys remember, if you guys have played X-Wing for a long time, there was a company called Space Rocks that was making a Nebulon B, and you could buy that and have that in your X-Wing games, and it was awesome. It was bigger, it was huge, it was really, really big, but they got hit with a cease and desist, so they had to stop making the Nebulon B. But man, they were beautiful. It's like you can't even get your own big ships anymore unless you have them 3D printed, which is really, really rough. Because like Space Rocks, I think, was just casting them in plastic, so it was much cheaper. Most people are keeping the Epic ships as shelf models. Yeah, no, the Epic ships are good shelf models for sure. It's kind of a bummer that that's all they're really used for. Yeah. Let's see what else. There was some. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. So, jumping to Legion, I kind of finished. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably already seen it. But I wanted to show you guys my. These are some of the droids that I've been working on today. I'm gonna shrink myself a little bit. Yeah, so I did my BX droids. And they ended up, I did two full units of them. I didn't put shields on all of the blue unit. I did the blue unit first, and I wanted these guys to be my melee unit because I think I'll probably be, doing more swords. Like, I really like the idea of them running with swords. And so I took some of the spare swords that were supposed to get slung over people's backs, and I give like one guy like a double-bladed sword, kind of Darth Maul style. And some funny stuff like that. Although I did keep two of the blue unit with shields, because I think for the strike team, if I do a sniper strike team, I'll probably have them with shields, because I think shields are just really good for strike teams. And then the red unit or the orange unit, they all kind of have shields equipped, and even the grenade guy, the Dioxis grenade, he's got, like, I stuck some of the shields in. Like, I glued it to the weapon almost, so like the snipers actually have the shields too. Like, although the blue sniper, he's got it on his back, the red sniper has he's running, but he's got the shield kind of still stuck to his gun, kind of as it's coming out. But yeah, I had a little bit of fun with these guys. So they're mostly done. I have to do a little bit more to one of them, because on one of them some of the paint kind of bled through a little bit, didn't get too good, and I'll probably put some shrubberies or something on the bases. So that's kind of it for them. But yeah, they're getting fun. I'm working on the ARC Troopers now. I'm gonna be doing and thank you guys for the kind words. But I'm looking for I'm looking at doing a unit of ARC Troopers painted up like Iron Man, because I want them to be like Tony Stark troopers. I kind of feel bad, but I have three ARC Troopers. I had it's weird because I felt like a hypocrite because part of me was saying like, hey, there's rumors that there might be a shortage of ARC troopers, so don't buy them all up. So I know I had one that was coming on pre-order, and then my local Sci-Fi City got them in, and Sci-Fi City had a ton in. He had dozens and dozens of them, and so I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't look like there's any shortage. I'll take 2. So then when my pre-order came in, I have 3, and then come to find out, a lot of people don't have them now, and I'm like, so that's kind of how that worked out. I'm sure they're going to reprint them and they'll show up again. I mean, honestly, Phase 2s are like people don't have Phase 2s either. That's another weird thing. How would you play Inferno Squad and Iden? It depends on. That's a tough one. I think it depends if I'm running Death Troopers with them or not, or if I'm running Snow Troopers. Because if I'm like running Snows, I want to put Gideon and Hask in Snow Troopers, and so I won't run the full Inferno Squad. And then I don't even need Iden for that. I can run that with something else. But I think if I'm going to run Iden, I'd probably run like proper Inferno Squad. That'd be fun. They look really good, and I'd probably run two versions of them too. The Firefly board game. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about it. No, I don't really have too much of an opinion yet. I love the show. I absolutely love the show. Snows and Dell are a great idea. Yeah, no, I really like that. I love the idea of like moving out, sniping, and then moving back in. You know, granted it's expensive to do that, but as long as Iden doesn't get killed first thing. Yeah, well, so far all the times I've tried to use Iden, she's gotten killed right away. I need to get another Legion battle report in soon. Haven't gotten many battle reports lately. It's been a little bit tough. It's been a little tough to do that, yeah. But we're getting there. All right. So anyway, let's see what else is new. We are still going to be giving away this guy. He's going to be coming soon. So yeah. Would you like to see a Halo ward game in 28mm? I'm the wrong person to ask. I am not a big Halo fan. I have nothing against Halo at all. It was a fine video game. I just never got that into the lore that it made me really want to explore Halo a whole lot more. So the answer is like maybe like if the game system were like amazing and it was really really big and everybody was going to be playing it, then sure, I have no opposition to testing it out and checking it out. But I just don't want. As far as complexity, like you look at 40K, which is too complex for my personal taste. You know, like I don't like rolling an attack roll and rolling to hit and then to see rolling to wound and then rolling for damage. You know, I'd rather just make one roll as opposed to like 3 rolls for attack. So I don't like that. To me, it's unnecessary complexity. And I like the idea of just having more. I'd rather have my dice be more complex instead of just all D6s or whatever. I'd rather have like D12s, you know, and then like, oh, I rolled, you know what? I rolled all this. I do hit. Oh, and I rolled this special symbol, which means now you're poisoned. And I also rolled this special symbol, which means a story thing happens. And also rolled an earthquake symbol, you know, something like that. I would love to see like things like that on dice. Oh man, a D12 shooter game would be super cool. But then if you look at Warcry, which is also a Warhammer thing, that one's a little bit too light for me, right? It's like almost to the point where, like, granted, I only played Warcry one time, so this is just an introductory opinion. But it didn't seem like you had a lot of cool potential abilities, but it was over too quick, you know. So for me, for like the lighter kind of gameplay, I really, really like Marvel Crisis Protocol. For a fun, casual game. And then for the slightly more serious games, I like Armada and Legion, because those are more just perfectly balanced for me. Damn near. Let's see. Wild West Exodus uses D10. Oh, that's kind of cool. Halo RTS, Halo Wars is very simple when compared to other RTS games. Maybe. I know there's a lot of people out there who are big fans of Halo, so I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the Halo universe. It seems like it's got a lot of good things for an IP to have. Like that would translate well to a lot of modern war games. I know there was a Halo Fleet game a while back, and I think there's a lot of people who really are into Halo. So I mean, it might not be a bad opportunity, but what I'd really, really, really like is a Star Trek Fleet game. I would love a whole Star Trek series of games, although I could do without a Star Trek like Legion kind of ground game. Like, I just don't need that, you know. 40k community, yeah, I don't know that much. I see some things that I'm not as, you know, I'm not really a big fan of toxic communities, and but the thing is, there's some of that in a lot of different places. Like, a lot of my viewers, and if you go to like my Discord and stuff, like, people are not very toxic, and whether it doesn't matter which game, you know, like X-Wing does have toxic players and Legion does have toxic players, but they're usually on one place or another. Like, I find, like, I think Reddit is generally one of the, like, if you go to any of these games and you go to the pages or the communities on Reddit, you're probably going to see more of the toxic players. Versus, from my experience, in the Discords, they tend to be less toxic, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah. Oh, there's an old Starfleet Battles game and the rules were the size of phone books. That's funny. Yeah, and so there is, you know, I would love the, yeah, there is a Star Wars RPG system, and I haven't played that yet. It looks, you know, it looks cool. I have some of the minis for it. I actually used some of the minis when playtesting Legion. So before Legion ever came out, I was playing it. I was playtesting Legion, and I used Star Trek minis as a squad of core troopers. And I remember when we were testing the medics or the specialist personnel, I remember using Dr. Crusher as my medic. So that was pretty fun. Star Trek Attack Wing, yeah, there's a lot of problems with Star Trek Attack Wing, though. The Star Trek Attack Wing, from, you know, there's a couple of main problems. First off, not enough playtesting, from what I understand. You know, like, I'm not a Attack Wing player, but everybody I talk to who plays it, they said they don't properly playtest stuff, and there's tremendous power creep. But one of the biggest problems is the best ships and the best cards are tournament exclusives. So if you don't, like, if you miss a tournament, you might miss out on the best ship in the game. And that's really, like, that's a terrible kind of gatekeeper mechanic. I hate that. So I should have a link to Discord in the description. Basically, Discord is kind of like a just a web-based, and they also have apps for smartphones, chat rooms. And that's really all it is this kind of like, it's a cross between a live chat and a forum, right? It's really just live chat rooms. And so there's, like, but you can also share pictures. You can upload pictures to it. So it's more of like a really advanced chat room. And there's voice chat rooms too. It's a good place to, you know, to interact usually in near real time with a lot of people about different games and stuff like that. Yeah, the chat room is the easiest way to put it. But it's become popular. So for a lot of gaming communities, they'll have their own Discords. I have mine. A lot of people asked me to set one up a long time ago, so I had done that. And then there's, you know, Discords that have sprung up for all the different games. So I have links to, like, the X-Wing Discord, the Armada Discord. There's actually 2 X-Wing Discords. There's a real big original one, then there's a smaller one that is shot up specifically for X-Wing 2.0. There's an Armada Discord. There's actually 2 Armada Discords. I think I'm only in one of them right now. There's a Legion Discord. That one's pretty big. There was, like, a Keyforge Discord. There's a Star Wars RPG Discord. There's the Discords for all the different video games. A lot of publishers have their own Discords. And you know, you can be a member of all of them, and it'll show you all of them on the left-hand side. It saves your stuff. So yeah, so Discord's pretty cool for that. And if you're a patron, you get you get a special Discord roles, and you have a special patron Discord channel. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, there's a TTS specific Armada Discord. And then the regular Armada Discord is a little bit more of a like a vassal Discord, but it's like the general Armada Discord, and it's the bigger one. So if you want to talk general Armada, you could do that in my Discord or in the Armada Discord. It doesn't matter to me. It's like I don't make money off of it, and there's no charges. Everything's free, so it's not like. Well, actually, no, it does charge. I boosted the server up. I don't know what the heck that did, but it let me use some emojis in different places or something like that. Yeah. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the giveaway for anybody who's been here, because we're going to be mailing out a. Wait, is this upside down? Yeah, a Hammerhead Torpedo Corvette promo. We will mail this to you anywhere in the world. It might take a while because the United States Postal Service is basically trying to shut itself down to stop us all from voting. But other than that, we're trying to still mail things out. So if you are interested in that, let me know your favorite Star Wars character and do a hashtag Armada. And we'll do that in the chat, and I'll kind of randomly point to only one entry per person, please. Don't spam the chat. Do that, and I'll pick a winner. And yes. And sorry if I missed any of your guys' questions. I am trying to get to a lot of them. It's tricky. It's especially tricky when somebody gets me and talking on a tangent or something like that. All right, we're going to pick. I'm pointing. Sneaky Gee Tao, you are the winner with your Armada Hondo. There it is. All right, I just typed your name out because I don't know if I said it right. And just go ahead and send me an email at mailcrabbok@gmail.com. That's my it's on the back end of my page, on the About page. And just give me your shipping information, and we'll get that out to you. All right. And yeah, I think that's probably about it. I'm gonna scroll up and see if there's any more stuff that I missed. Bob says, I want to say thank you so much for the unboxing videos. I'm very new to Star Wars Legion. You helped me pick out what I'd like to get into the future. Awesome. That's kind of what I'm here for. I'm trying to do the stuff that I wished had been there when I started playing. It was a lot harder years and years ago before. And then there's a lot of people making content now too, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Fire while cloaked was so broken. What was that from? That's from something else. Okay. Do you know what would go good with Star Trek? An Outer Rim like game. Yeah, but Outer Rim still needs to be fixed a little bit first. Here's hoping you can get that 8-player game of TI4 in sooner than later. Well, hopefully, hopefully things will work out. There's all of that stuff. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening, and I am going to be signing off, so that's going to do it. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night, and have a great week. Have a great September, and hopefully we'll get some more articles and some good news, and hopefully this really cool Darth Revan lightsaber comes out on time, because I'm looking forward to reviewing that also. So if you like the other stuff, and also be sure to check out the merch store too. There's masks and shirts and all kinds of cool stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.